Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I'm bringing you round 5 of my TBR game rotating decks, where I have Uno cards help me pick my prompts to form my monthly TBR. So as you know, I've been participating in quite a few readathons lately, and so my reading has been okay, but not the greatest. I have to say that June is probably the best that I've done in a very, very long time. And so in July, I kind of slumped a little bit, and I think that had to do a lot with one of the books that I had to read for my TBR. So before I get into August's gameplay, let me tell you how I did for the month of July. So the first prompt I picked for my game was read 2 books from the same series. And for that, I was supposed to read volumes 21 and 22 of Noragami. I have not read this yet. It is July 23rd as I am recording this, so I do have one more week, and because these are manga, I don't feel like I'm going to have an issue completing those at all. The next prompt I pulled was a punishment prompt, so that is The Stand by Stephen King. So I did end up reading this. This was the book that kind of made me slump a bit. It is 817 pages, and I didn't really enjoy this read, just so you know, but I did finish this one, so that is checked off. The next one I had was heard about on a knitting podcast. So for this one, I chose Magic Bites by Ilana Andrews. I have not started this yet. My game rules say that I have to at least read 100 pages or DNF it before the end of the month. So because I have a week left, I don't foresee not being able to read 100 pages of this. So I'm confident that I will complete that prompt as well. The last prompt I pulled, because I did pull an extra one as we had switched the deck at the end of the game, was Anne of Green Gables. So that was to read the next book in Anne of Green Gables. And for me, that was Anne of Windy Poplars, even though this says Anne of Windy Willows. And I did read this one as well. So those are all of the books I was supposed to have read for July. Like I said, I do have a week left as of the day that I am filming this, so I'm confident that I am going to complete all of the prompts that I pulled last month, and I will not be choosing a punishment pick for this round. So that wraps up pretty much everything that I was supposed to read in the month of July. If you'd like to hear my thoughts on those, definitely check out my July wrap-up, which will be coming soon. But let's flip over to August's gameplay, and I will be back with you afterwards to show you what books I have picked for those prompts. Okay, so here is the setup for August. As you can see, we are still playing with the Tokyo Olympics deck. As per usual, I will have my daughter cut the deck so that you know that I don't know what is on the top of this deck. Okay, the deck has been cut, so let us pull our first card, which is a skip card, which means I don't have to read anything for that prompt, which is a great start to this month's TBR. So the next card is a reverse card, which means that I have to re-pull for this card. So not so great, but let us do this one more time. It is a blue 4. So let us count down. And the prompt is manga that is 6+ volumes. So that means I need to read a manga series, an entire manga series that has 6 or more volumes. That is not so bad. Okay, let me move this over a little bit. And the next card is a blue 3. And the prompt is daughter's choice. So that means that my daughter will pick something for me to read. Doesn't matter if it's manga or if it is a novel, but she will be the one picking for me a selection for that prompt. And the last card will be a blue 1. Lots of blue this time. So since blue 1 is just one card, I am just going to pick the first one off this deck, and that is bought before 2012. So that means I need to read something that is on my Goodreads shelf marked as bought before 2012. So that wasn't too painful at all. I'm actually kind of surprised there was so much blue in this deck. But there was no wild card, so we will not be changing up the deck this time. And that will do it for this round of rotating decks. I will go get some selections for these prompts, and I'll be back with you in a bit. So we had a little bit of excitement at the beginning of the game with the skip and then the reverse. But we ended up picking a blue 4, which was to read a manga 6+ volumes. At first, I thought that this had meant that I needed to read an entire series that was 6+ volumes, but I actually do have prompts in the decks that say to read an entire series, 10+ volumes. And then I think there's one that's 20+ volumes. I did look back at the list that I had written before I had written all of these prompts. And so I think this one actually meant to just read 6 or more volumes of manga for the month. But in any case, I had decided on an actual series that is 6 or more volumes. And for that prompt, I will be reading the series of An Incurable Case of Love by Maki and Joji. There are 7 volumes to this series, and so I will be reading this entire series for the month of August. This is a romance series about this woman who had like an emergency situation or something, had witnessed an emergency situation when she was younger. And this doctor is the one that responded to it, and she kind of fell head over heels for him at the time, and it turned her projection of life towards nursing so that she could get into the same profession as him, and they end up meeting up when she's an adult. He ends up not being the person she thought he was when she had met him when she was younger. So this has been a series that I've been very interested in reading. I've heard a lot of things about it, but I also heard that there were a lot of cliffhangers in between. So I decided to wait until I had all of the volumes to read them, and now that I do have them, it's the perfect time to get that series read. And so that is what I will be reading for that selection. Next up, I picked up a blue 3, which was Daughter's Choice. And so for this one, my daughter decided that she wanted me to read the next volume in Bleach, which will be volume 4. I think this is the 4th omnibus, volumes 10, 11, and 12. And if you've been with me for a little while, you must be thinking, wait a minute, you haven't read 7, 8, and 9. And that is correct. So 7, 8, and 9 is here. I do plan on getting this one read before the end of July, so that is why her next pick is this one. We are doing a read a watch along for this series, so she wanted me to read this volume so that we can continue doing that project. Obviously, I'm still hung up on this one. I need to get this one read, and I do anticipate reading this one before the end of July. So that is what I will be picking for Daughter's Choice. And the last selection I picked was a blue 1, which there was a lot of blue this round. I was kind of surprised. We still haven't gotten any yellows, so that's even more surprising to me. Now that we've played 5 rounds, I surely expected to have something from each color, but that just hasn't happened yet. But for the last prompt, it was something I bought before 2012, and for this one, I'm actually going to do a reread, and I have chosen to read The Midnight Club by Christopher Pike. This is my Booktube Spin selection for the 3rd round. If you don't know what the Booktube Spin is, I'll leave a link to the announcement video down in the description box below. But basically, every quarter or so, Rick McDonnell does a spin to select a number, and then out of your stack of books, you read the book that is corresponding to that number. So for me, that was The Midnight Club. Like I said, this will be a reread for me. You can see the book is not in the greatest condition, and that is because I have had this book since I was a teenager. I don't quite remember what it's about, which is why I put it in my stack for the Booktube Spin. But it is one that I was talking to my friend Troy Towell. I'll link him down in the description box below as well. We were talking about this one, I believe it was last year. He had done a read of this one and he really enjoyed it, which made me want to reread it, and I just haven't gotten around to it. So I'm super excited to reread this one and remember what this story was about, because I do remember that I enjoyed it when I was a teen, but like I said, I don't remember what it was about. So those will be my selections that correspond to the prompts for my Rotating Decks TBR game. So I didn't mention at the beginning, but I did finish, obviously, the Book One Cozies Club selection, because that is my book club. And so that was Still Knife Painting, the first book in the Paint and Shine Mystery series by Cheryl Holland. I did finish that one, and the Book One Cozies Club selection for August is Poison Pen, the first book in the Forensic Handwriting Mystery series by Sheila Lowe. I will be doing a chapter by chapter on this, which is my audio only reading vlogs. I will also be doing my series first impressions video on this one, which is general unspoilery thoughts on that one. So if you're interested in reading this one along with me, definitely check out my chapter by chapter videos, which will be going up around the 10th of August. But if you're only interested in hearing my general unspoilery thoughts on this one, definitely check out my Book One Cozies Club series first impressions video, which will be going up towards the end of the month. I am participating in a few readathons in the month of August. I'm not going to include those books in this video though, because the last TBR video I did that included readathon TBRs, it was way too long. So I will let you know what readathons I am planning on participating in August here though. So the first readathon that I'm planning on participating in is the 2nd round of the Fullmetal Challenge readathon, which is being hosted by Novel Serendipity. Again, links down in the description box below. But month 2 is the Transmutation Circle, and so there are a bunch of prompts for that. I will be doing a separate TBR video for those prompts. So if you're interested in seeing what I'm reading for that, definitely keep an eye out for that video to go up soon. The next readathon I am actually starting today. It's the Manga Olympics readathon, which is being hosted by Christy Liu. That is just a list of 17 prompts that correspond with sports that are played at the Olympics, and it's a completely manga-based readathon. I'm not putting together a TBR for that one, but I will be trying to complete prompts for that over the course of the Olympics. I will leave her announcement video down in the description box below in case you're interested in participating. By the time this video goes up, I believe there'll only be 1 week left of the readathon and the Olympics, but there's still plenty of time to participate in that one, so definitely go check that out. And then the last readathon I am planning on participating in is the Choose Your Own Adventure readathon, which is being hosted by Chelsea Zhao. I will link her announcement video down in the description box below. I do not have a TBR set for that one yet either, because that one, the way that the readathon will be done is very impromptu, and so I won't know until the start of that readathon what I will be reading for the prompt that I pick first. But definitely check out her announcement video down in the description box below for all of the details on that. It sounds like it's going to be really fun. It is a week readathon. It only happens for a week. I typically don't participate in week-long readathons just because I'm usually not too successful with them. But this one really intrigued me because I was a really big fan of the Choose Your Own Adventure books when I was growing up. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how this one plays out. And that will complete everything for my reading plans in the month of August. Let me know if you are participating in any of the readathons that I am, or if you're participating in any other readathons during the month of August. If you've made it to this point of the video, leave me a sports related emoji down in the comments below. That would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out, and that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy, and until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.